Hello, in this video, I'm going to share with you how you can assess your breathing using the BOLT test. This is also known as control pause or comfortable pause. And this is exactly what this test assesses. So it assesses our comfort level with a breath hold after an exhalation. And this gives us an indicator to our sensitivity to carbon dioxide. So why is this important? Firstly, carbon dioxide is our primary driver to breathe. So when CO2 levels rise in the body, the brain cells signals to the medulla, the respiratory center in the brain, to inhale. However, if we're really sensitive to carbon dioxide, these signals get fired more frequently and more often, meaning that we will be overbreathing, hyperventilating. And like anything, too much of anything is bad for us. So it's really, really important that we get the correct levels of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the body for our optimal health. So how do we do this test? It's a really, really simple test. It only takes a couple of minutes. The best time to do this test is first thing in the morning. You're going to get a more accurate result. Try to do the test when you're undisturbed and avoid doing this test after any physical exertion. You will need a phone to time yourself with, or even better, a stopwatch. So just get your phone ready or your stopwatch ready, have it ready to go. And all you're going to be doing is you're going to take a normal breath in through the nose, a normal breath out through the nose. Press go on your timer. Be holding the breath for as long as feels comfortable. As soon as you feel that first urge to breathe, you're going to let go of the nose, note your time, and resume breathing normally again. So just a couple of things to note here. The breath after the breath hold should be soft and quiet. If you notice that you take a large audible breath in, or you gasp or you sigh, it's just an indicator that you've actually held your breath for too long. So remember, we're not in competition with ourselves here. We're just checking in to see what that first urge to breathe feels like. And particularly if we are not often aware of our breath, we might find this a bit of a challenge. So what is the first urge to breathe? What does it feel like? You may notice that your diaphragm muscles contract. You can also feel contractions in the throat. So as soon as you feel those, this is your cue to let go of your nose and resume breathing normally. You may also just hear that screaming in your head going, please let me breathe. Okay, so it's a psychological response. So if we suffer quite a bit from maybe anxiety or stress, you might notice that trigger kicking in first. Okay, so the important thing is feeling nice and relaxed, listening to the body's cues, and then releasing the nose after you feel those cues kicking in. So I'll go through it with you again. Get nice and comfortable, get your timer to the ready. Follow your breath in through the nose and out through the nose, connecting to the breath. And when you're ready, after your next exhale, you're going to pinch the nose. I strongly advise pinching the nose, holding the breath just for as long as feels comfortable. As soon as you feel that first urge to breathe, resume breathing in and out again through the nose. Stop the timer. Take note of your time. So your breathing should be soft and quiet. I always say to actually hold the nose with your fingers, especially if you're new to this, because again, if we're not very aware of our breath and we just simply hold the breath without holding the nose, you'll be surprised how you can sneakily end up breathing in and out through your nose. Our attention span can easily drift during this if we're not used to practicing self-awareness or breathing practices. So what do the scores mean? Okay, so if you have a breath hold of less than 12 seconds, it indicates a very low tolerance to carbon dioxide. So you may already be experiencing a number of symptoms like breathlessness, anxiety, sleeplessness, perhaps digestive disorders. There's a lot of symptoms that go with hyperventilation syndrome. A score of between 12 and 20, still quite a low carbon dioxide tolerance. However, the body might be a bit more resilient here. Okay, it could still be triggered quite easily, but a little bit more resilient. 20 to 25, we have a more resilient body, but there's plenty of room for improvement still. Between the score of 30 and 40, we're looking at someone who is probably in quite good health, optimal vitality, everything working well, and feeling good and energized. So, how do we improve our BOLT score? Best way to improve our bolt score is to integrate breathing practices into our life on a daily basis. The optimal way to do this is to break this down into 4 short sessions a day. So, by practicing the breathing techniques between 10 and 15 minutes a day, will really, really help to reset the respiratory center in the brain. And this is what we are trying to do. So, our respiratory center in the brain is what regulates our breathing. So a one-off breathing practice a day isn't going to retrain that respiratory center. We need to break it down into small practices throughout the day so that the respiratory center is registering these new habits and will chemically make the changes in the body. I hope this helps. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.